Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Liberty Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin, a small piece of metal with a big story and, in some cases, a surprisingly valuable price tag. These iconic nickels have captured the attention of collectors for decades, not just because of their classic design, but because certain rare varieties can be worth far more than 5 cents. The Liberty Jefferson Nickel stands as a symbol of American history, featuring the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and the historic Monticello building on the reverse. While millions were minted, only a handful carry unique mint marks, rare errors, or limited production runs that make them incredibly desirable to collectors. What makes these coins truly exciting is the possibility that a rare Liberty Jefferson nickel could still be hiding in everyday pocket change, old jars, or inherited collections. Some versions with special mint marks, unusual strikes, or pristine condition have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auctions. In this video, we'll explore the most valuable Liberty Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coins, what to look for, and how to identify rare details that could turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary discovery. Whether you're a beginner collector or a seasoned coin hunter, this guide could help you spot a hidden gem. So before you spend that nickel, take a closer look, because the coin in your hand might be more valuable than you ever imagined. Let's get started. The 1964 D. Jefferson Nickel has long captured the imagination collectors who believe hidden treasures still circulate unnoticed. Struck in enormous numbers, this coin seems ordinary at first glance. Yet certain rare variations, striking anomalies, and pristine preserved pieces can transform a simple 5-cent coin into something far more dramatic. The portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, combined with the historic Monticello design on the reverse, gives the coin both artistic and historical weight, which only deepens excitement when an unusual example appears. In 1964, production surged as demand for coinage skyrocketed, and the Denver Mint worked tirelessly, stamping millions of nickels with the D mint mark. With such massive output, quality control sometimes slipped, allowing minor imperfections and unusual characteristics to slip into circulation. These tiny differences, barely visible to the naked eye, are precisely what collectors chase. When one of these anomalies appears in excellent condition, the value can escalate far beyond face value. Some 1964 D nickels show strong strikes with razor-sharp details, deep luster, and flawless surfaces. These are often referred to as near-perfect specimens, and they are extremely difficult to find because most coins from that year entered heavy circulation immediately. A coin that somehow avoided wear for decades becomes a time capsule, preserving the brilliance of the day it left the mint. Such preservation alone can push the coin into a high-value category. Another layer of intrigue comes from double features, where letters or numbers appear slightly duplicated. These doubling effects are not always dramatic, but when clearly visible, they create a rare collectible variation. A 1964 D nickel with noticeable doubling in the date or inscriptions becomes far more desirable, and collectors may compete intensely for such a piece, especially when combined with strong eye appeal. There are also examples where the strike pressure created unusual textures or slightly off-center designs. These minting irregularities give the coin a distinctive personality. What might look like a mistake to an untrained eye is actually a prized characteristic among numismatists. The rarer and more dramatic the error, the stronger the collector interest becomes. Condition is one of the biggest factors in determining value. A coin graded at the very top of the scale, showing no wear, no scratches, and blazing mint luster, can command astonishing attention. These coins are incredibly scarce because nearly all 1964 D nickels circulated widely. Finding one that looks freshly minted decades later is like uncovering a preserved piece of history. Collectors also search for nickels with full design detail on Monticello, particularly the sharp steps on the building. When these steps appear crisp and complete, the coin is considered superior in strike quality. Such full detail examples are difficult to locate and often bring premium interest in collector circles. The composition of the 1964 nickel, primarily copper and nickel, may appear ordinary, yet the final year of massive production before design transitions gives the coin historical significance. Many collectors see 1964 as the end of an era, making standout examples from that year especially meaningful. Historical context alone can add emotional value to the coin. Luster plays another important role. Some 1964, D nickels display a shimmering, almost mirror-like glow that radiates when tilted under light. This natural brilliance, preserved through decades, elevates the coin's visual appeal. A glowing coin instantly draws attention and increases desirability. Toning can also influence value. Over time, some coins develop subtle shades of gold, blue, or violet. When this toning appears naturally and evenly, collectors often consider it attractive. A beautifully toned 1964, D nickel becomes not just currency, but a miniature work of art. Rarity within commonness is what makes this coin fascinating. While millions were produced, only a tiny fraction survive in exceptional condition. This imbalance between supply and demand fuels the excitement. When one of these rare survivors surfaces, it quickly becomes a focus of serious collectors. The thrill of discovery keeps people searching pocket change, old jars, and inherited collections. A seemingly ordinary nickel dated 1964, D might hold unexpected significance. The possibility alone encourages collectors to examine every detail carefully. Market demand fluctuates depending on collector interest. When attention turns toward high-grade mid-century coins, the 1964, D nickel often gains momentum. Increased demand can push standout examples to impressive levels, especially when competition intensifies. Authentication and grading further elevate a coin's prestige. Once professionally evaluated and confirmed as top quality, the coin gains credibility. Collectors trust certified examples, and that trust often translates into higher offers. Stories of valuable 1964 D nickels circulate widely, adding to their mystique. Whether discovered in an old collection or saved unknowingly for decades, each coin carries a narrative. These stories make the hunt even more exciting. Because many coins were handled roughly, finding one with clean surfaces is extremely challenging. Even minor scratches reduce desirability, so pristine pieces stand apart dramatically. The difference between average and exceptional can be striking. Ultimately, the 1964 D. Jefferson Nickel symbolizes the idea that extraordinary value can hide in ordinary places. While not every example is rare, the right combination of condition, strike quality, and uniqueness can transform a simple 5-cent coin into a prized collectible. That possibility keeps collectors searching, hoping that one overlooked coin might hold surprising worth. The 1979 D. Jefferson Nickel is one of those coins that most people overlook, yet in rare situations it can turn into a surprisingly valuable treasure. At first glance it looks ordinary, just another 5-cent piece with Thomas Jefferson's portrait, but collectors know that certain examples from the Denver Mint carry unusual characteristics. These tiny differences, barely visible to the naked eye, can transform a simple pocket coin into something that collectors chase with intense excitement. When such a coin surfaces, it immediately attracts attention because rarity in modern nickels is unexpected and thrilling. The fascination begins with the mint mark D, which indicates the coin was struck in Denver. Millions were produced, but not all coins are created equal. A small number were struck with sharper details, unusual finishes, or minting irregularities that make them stand apart. These exceptional coins appear almost flawless, with strong luster and crisp lines around Jefferson's hair, the lettering, and Monticello on the reverse. When collectors encounter a 1979 D nickel in this level of preservation, they see not just a coin, but a near-perfect survivor from its era. Some of the most talked about in 1979 D nickels are those graded in extremely high mint state condition. These coins were never circulated, meaning they avoided scratches, wear, and handling damage. Their surfaces shine with a smooth, reflective glow, and every tiny design detail remains intact. Coins in this condition are rare, because most nickels immediately entered circulation and were used for decades. Finding one untouched is like discovering a time capsule sealed since 1979. Another reason certain 1979 D nickels command attention is the possibility of striking anomalies. Slight doubling in letters, unusual spacing, or off-center strikes can create dramatic collector interest. These minting quirks are accidental and therefore limited in number. When such a coin is confirmed, collectors view it as a unique piece of history. The idea that a production mistake could turn a 5-cent coin into a prize collectible adds to the mystery and excitement surrounding the year. The shine and eye appeal of a top-quality 1979 D nickel can be mesmerizing. Under proper lighting, the coin may display brilliant luster flowing across the surface. The fields appear clean and smooth, and Monticello on the reverse stands out with striking clarity. Collectors often describe these coins as gem quality, meaning they represent the highest visual standard. In auctions, coins like this spark competitive bidding, pushing their value far beyond ordinary expectations. Collectors also pay close attention to the steps on Monticello. A 1979 D nickel with fully defined steps is extremely desirable. These tiny horizontal lines at the base of the building must be sharp and uninterrupted. Most coins show weak or incomplete steps due to production pressure, but a fully detailed example is rare. This small feature dramatically increases demand because it proves the coin was struck with exceptional precision. The story becomes even more exciting when a high-grade 1979 D nickel appears unexpectedly in circulation. Imagine someone checking loose change and spotting a coin with unusual shine and detail. That moment transforms everyday pocket money into a potential collectible. Stories like these fuel the dream that a hidden treasure could be sitting unnoticed in a jar, drawer, or wallet, waiting to be discovered. Condition plays the biggest role in determining value. A war 1979 D nickel is typically worth face value, but a pristine example can command dramatically higher prices. The difference between ordinary and exceptional is enormous. Even small marks or dull surfaces reduce desirability, while clean, brilliant coins stand out immediately. This contrast makes collectors extremely selective, searching only for the finest specimens. Another factor that adds intrigue is population scarcity at the highest grades. Very few 1979 D nickels survive in nearly perfect condition. Many coins were struck, but almost none remained untouched. As grading standards become stricter, the number of top-tier coins becomes even smaller. This scarcity creates competition among collectors who want the best possible example for their collections. The idea that a modern nickel could reach extraordinary value fascinates people. Most expect valuable coins to be centuries old, yet the 1979 D challenges that assumption. It proves that rarity is not just about age, but also about condition, detail, and uniqueness. This realization encourages collectors to examine modern coins more carefully, knowing that hidden gems may exist. The surface texture of a premium 1979 D nickel can look almost mirror-like in places. Light reflects evenly, and the design elements appear bold and raised. Jefferson's portrait may show delicate features rarely seen on circulated coins. When viewed under magnification, the coin reveals sharp lines and minimal contact marks. This level of preservation is what collectors dream of finding. Auction excitement often surrounds top-quality examples. When a rare high-grade 1979 D nickel is listed, collectors watch closely. Bidding can become competitive as enthusiasts try to secure the coin. The thrill comes from owning something few others possess. Each bid reflects the coin's desirability and the emotional connection collectors feel toward rare finds. The historical context of 1979 also adds charm. The coin represents a specific moment in time, produced during a period when nickels were everyday workhorses of commerce. Most were spent, worn, and forgotten. The few that survived untouched feel special, almost like preserved fragments of daily life from decades ago. This sense of history deepens collector interest. For many people, the dream of discovering a valuable 1979 D nickel adds excitement to coin searching. Every handful of change becomes an opportunity. The possibility, however small, keeps collectors motivated. Even if only a tiny fraction of coins qualify, the chance of finding one fuels curiosity and enthusiasm. The mystique surrounding these nickels grows when collectors share stories of unexpected discoveries. Someone finds a brilliant coin in an old roll. Another uncovers one in a family collection. Each story reinforces the idea that treasure can hide in plain sight. The 1979 D nickel becomes more than metal. It becomes a symbol of possibility. The 1989 D Jefferson nickel is one of those coins that often hides in plain sight. quietly passing from hand to hand, while collectors dream about the rare examples that could be worth far more than face value. At first glance, it looks ordinary, just another 5-cent coin struck for circulation. But the excitement begins when you realize that certain versions from this year and mint can carry surprising collector demand. The possibility that a small coin could transform from pocket change into a prize collectible is what keeps people searching through jars, drawers, and old rolls. This coin was struck in Denver, identified by the small D mint mark near the portrait. Millions were produced, yet not all were created equal. Some pieces left the mint with sharper details, brilliant luster, and near-perfect surfaces. These higher quality coins, especially those preserved carefully for decades, can stand out dramatically from worn examples. Collectors pay attention to eye appeal, and when a 1989 D nickel appears with glowing surfaces and crisp design, it immediately draws interest. The portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the reverse may seem familiar, but in top condition the fine details become striking. The hairline, cheek contours, and steps of Monticello can appear razor sharp. Coins showing full steps on the Monticello building are particularly desirable because they indicate a strong strike. These small details can separate an ordinary coin from one collectors actively pursue. Another factor that can push value higher is minting errors. Occasionally, coins from 1989 D were struck with off-center designs, double lettering, die cracks, or other unusual features. These mint mistakes create uniqueness, and uniqueness fuels demand. A dramatic error on a Jefferson nickel can transform a 5-cent coin into something collectors eagerly hunt for, sometimes paying surprisingly strong premiums. Condition plays the biggest role in determining worth. A heavily circulated 1989 D nickel might only be worth face value, but a coin preserved in mint state with no where can climb in desirability. When graded at the highest levels, such as MS66 or MS67 quality, the rarity increases sharply. Very few coins survive in such pristine condition, which creates competition among collectors who want the best. Luster is another magical quality. Original mint luster reflects light in a soft, cartwheel pattern across the surface. Coins that still display the shimmering effect after decades are highly prized. A 1989 D nickel with vibrant luster instantly looks different from dull, worn examples, and that visual impact can make collectors willing to pay much more. Some collectors also look for unusual toning. Over time, nickel coins have developed subtle shades of gold, blue, or gray. Attractive natural toning can make a coin unique and visually dramatic. When a 1989 D nickel displays beautiful color combined with high grade, it becomes more than currency. It becomes a collectible piece of miniature art. The excitement around this coin also comes from the idea that rare varieties can appear unexpectedly. A double die, repunch mint mark, or striking anomaly may go unnoticed for years. Someone searching through old change might discover one of these hidden treasures. That possibility fuels the belief that even common-looking coins could hold surprising value. Collectors also appreciate coins that remain untouched since the day they were minted. Coins pulled from original rolls, mint sets, or long-stored collections often show minimal contact marks. These fresh coins from 1989 D can command attention, especially if they appear nearly flawless. The closer a coin is to perfection, the more collectors compete for it. The story behind a coin can also add intrigue. A 1989 D nickel saved in a family collection, hidden in a drawer, or discovered in a forgotten roll creates a sense of mystery. People are fascinated by the journey of a coin, imagining how it survived decades without heavy wear. That narrative can make the discovery feel even more special. Market demand also plays a role. When collectors focus on completing Jefferson Nickel sets, they search for the best possible examples of each date and mint mark. High-grade 1989 D coins become part of that pursuit. As more collectors chase top-quality pieces, the strongest examples naturally gain more attention. It's important to understand that not every 1989 D nickel is valuable, but the rare top-tier examples are what spark excitement. Coins with exceptional quality, unusual features, or certified high grades can stand far above ordinary pieces. The difference between a worn coin and a pristine one can be dramatic. Professional grading can also influence value. When a coin is authenticated and graded by a respected service, collectors gain confidence in its quality. A certified 1989 D nickel in high mint state can attract serious interest. This process transforms a simple coin into a recognized collectible. The thrill of finding such a coin keeps collectors searching. People examine pocket change, bankrolls, and inherited collections, hoping to spot something special. Even though most coins are common, the chance of discovering a standout example makes the hunt exciting. Another aspect is scarcity at the highest levels. While millions were minted, very few survive in near-perfect condition. This creates a gap between ordinary coins and elite examples. That scarcity is what fuels the idea that a humble nickel could become surprisingly desirable. Over time, collector interest in modern coins has grown. More people are now paying attention to dates like 1989 D, especially when high-grade examples appear at auction. This rising awareness increases the spotlight on coins that were once ignored. In the end, the 1989 D. Jefferson Nickel represents a fascinating idea that even everyday coins can hold hidden potential. Most are worth only 5 cents, but exceptional examples with sharp strikes, brilliant luster, rare errors, and top condition can attract strong collector interest. That possibility is what makes searching for this coin exciting, because sometimes the smallest piece of change can carry the biggest surprise. The 1963 D. Jefferson Nickel is one of those coins that quietly sits in drawers, jars, and old collections, yet carries a mysterious reputation among collectors. At first glance, it looks ordinary. Thomas Jefferson's calm profile on the front and Monticello on the reverse. But certain versions of this coin can command surprisingly strong prices. When collectors talk about hidden treasures, the 1963 D. Nickel often enters the conversation because rare high-grade examples and unusual minting errors can transform this simple 5-cent piece into something far more exciting. Struck at the Denver Mint in 1963, this nickel carries a small D mint mark beside Monticello. Millions were produced, which means most examples are common. However, rarity in coin collecting is not only about how many were minted, it's about how many survived in exceptional condition. Coins that escape circulation and remain perfectly preserved are extremely difficult to find. These pristine pieces are the ones that spark intense bidding wars and drive values dramatically higher than ordinary pocket change. One reason collectors chase the 1963 D. Jefferson Nickel is the possibility of finding a full-step Monticello design. On the reverse of the coin, the steps leading up to Monticello are clearly visible on well-struck coins. When all the steps appear sharp and uninterrupted, the coin is labeled full steps. This small detail can multiply the value many times over. A worn coin may be worth only a few cents, but a full-step example in near-perfect condition becomes a prize collectible. Condition plays the biggest role in determining value. Coins graded at the very top of the scale, with blazing luster, no scratches, and crisp details, are incredibly rare. These coins may have been stored in rolls since the day they were minted, never touched by circulation. When such a specimen appears in the market, collectors recognize its scarcity instantly, and competition can push prices far beyond expectations. Another factor that fuels excitement around the 1963 D. Nickel is the possibility of mint errors. Sometimes a coin may have been struck slightly off-center, doubled in certain areas, or produced with unusual die imperfections. These errors make each coin unique. Collectors love one-of-a-kind pieces, and unusual error coins can sell for significantly higher amounts than standard issues. The surface of the coin also matters. A 1963 D. Nickel with vibrant original luster, that shimmering glow created during minting, stands apart from dull circulated coins. When the luster remains untouched, it creates an almost mirror-like effect that catches the light. This visual appeal alone can dramatically increase desirability among collectors searching for standout pieces. Some collectors also hunt for coins with strong strikes. A sharply struck 1963 D. Nickel will show Jefferson's hair details clearly, crisp lettering, and bold architectural features on Monticello. Weak strikes blur these details, but strong strikes are hard to find. This difference may seem subtle, yet it can make the gap between a common coin and a premium collectible. The history behind the coin adds another layer of fascination. The early 1960s were a time when coins were still widely used in daily life, and most nickels quickly entered circulation. Because of this, many coins became worn within months. Finding a 1963 D nickel untouched by circulation is like discovering a small piece of time preserved from that era. Collectors also pay attention to toning. Natural color changes over decades can create beautiful shades of gold, blue, or soft gray on the coin surface. When toning appears attractive and even, it enhances the coin's personality. Some tone 1963 D nickels become highly desirable simply because of their eye-catching appearance. The excitement grows when rumors circulate about exceptionally valuable examples. Stories of rare coins selling for impressive sums inspire people to check their collections. While not every 1963 D nickel is worth a fortune, the possibility of finding a rare high-grade specimen keeps collectors searching. That sense of discovery is part of what makes coin collecting so thrilling. Authentication also matters. Coins professionally graded and sealed in protective holders gain credibility in the marketplace. Buyers trust these certified coins because their condition and authenticity are verified. A certified high-grade 1963 D nickel can attract much stronger offers compared to an uncertified example. Another detail collectors watch for is surface preservation. Even tiny marks from handling can reduce value. A coin free from scratches, spots, or fingerprints becomes significantly more desirable. Such well-preserved examples are scarce because most coins were handled frequently during circulation. Demand from collectors continues to influence value. Jefferson nickel enthusiasts often try to assemble complete sets by date and mint mark. When they reach the 1963 D slot, they search for the best example they can afford. This steady demand helps maintain interest and sometimes pushes premium coins to higher price levels. The metal composition also contributes to the coin's charm. The 1963 D nickel is made from a copper-nickel blend, giving it durability and a distinctive silver-gray appearance. Although it isn't made of precious silver, its collectible appeal comes from rarity and condition rather than metal value. This is why certain examples can still command impressive prices. Collectors often describe the thrill of discovering one in old rolls or inherited collections. The idea that a valuable coin could be hiding among ordinary change captures imagination. Even though most would be common, the possibility of a rare gem keeps the hunt alive. Over time, fewer pristine examples remain available. As collections are broken up or coins are mishandled, the number of top-quality survivors shrinks. This gradual reduction increases the importance of well-preserved pieces. Scarcity, even within a common date, can elevate the coin's desirability. In the end, the 1963 D Jefferson nickel represents the excitement of hidden potential. Most are ordinary but exceptional examples, especially those with full steps, strong strikes, and flawless surfaces, can attract serious collector attention. Whether found in a roll, a collection, or an old drawer, this coin reminds collectors that even a simple 5-cent piece can carry surprising value and the promise of discovery.